Hi everyone, I'm Grace. In this video, I'll show you an AI-powered customer support chatbot I built for a registered agent company using Voiceflow and n8n. This chatbot can answer client questions in real time, collect user information, and even trigger automated workflows like saving data to Airtable and alerting support staff through Telegram. Let's start with a quick look at how it works from a user's perspective. The user asks how much to start an LLC. The bot instantly provides the right answer pulled from the company's own website. Then it politely asks for the user's name and email to send additional details or connect them with a human representative. Behind the scenes, all this data is captured, classified by intent, and sent to n8n, where it's automatically stored in Airtable and optionally forwarded to the team's Telegram channel. Now let's go behind the scenes and see how this entire flow is built in Voiceflow. Here's the overall structure inside Voiceflow. The flow starts with a variable receipt, then moves through a welcome message, intent recognition, knowledge-based logic, user data collection, and finally an API call to n8n. Each part plays an essential role, and together they create a smooth, intelligent customer experience. Let's break it down step by step. The very first step is simple but important. Here, I clear two variables, last utterance and VF memory. This ensures that every new conversation starts with a clean state, without any leftover data from previous sessions. It's a small step, but it prevents a lot of debugging headache later on. Next, we move into the welcome message. When the user first opens the chatbot, they'll see this message: Welcome to registered agent company. I'm Grace, your virtual assistant. At this point, whatever the user reply with, like how much does it cost, is stored in the variable last utterance. This variable will later be passed to our intent classifier to understand what the user actually wants. Now comes one of the most interesting parts, intent recognition. This block uses an LLM model to understand the meaning of the user's last message. Inside the prompt, I define a clear instruction like analyze the user's last message and classify it into one of these categories: knowledge base, human support, or order status. I use the GPT model here because it handles short natural language input with high accuracy. The model then returns a label, which we store in the variable intent. Once the intent is generated, Voiceflow automatically routes the conversation based on conditional logic. For example, if intent contains human support, it goes to the support path. If it's knowledge base, it continues to the knowledge base search. And if it's order status, it triggers a different flow. When the intent is classified as knowledge base, the bot will reply with a message: Sure, let me know how I can help you. The flow enters this block, or knowledge base setup. To build this, we need to store some knowledge in advance. Click knowledge base, add data source, plain text. The content need to crawl from the registered agent company website. Here I use a filecrawl.deb. It's a great tool that lets you scrape a company website and automatically convert the content into a markdown file. Here, enter the registered agent company website link. Click Start Scraping, and then copy the generated markdown data into Voiceflow's knowledge base. Now, the chatbot can directly answer the real customer questions, like how much to start an LLC using that imported data. This approach keeps the chatbot grounded in accurate information from the official website and is incredibly easy to update. Just replace the markdown file when the site content changes. Once the bot provides an answer, the flow continues to this block. In this block, I added a customer's prompt that organizes a response and politely asks the user, did that answer your question? If the user selects yes, the flow loops here. The bot will ask, great, do you have another question? If yes, then the flow back to new block 3, meaning the chatbot is ready for a new question. If no, it routes forward to API, where it sends data to n8n. If the user selects no, the flow loops the user information stage that we'll talk it later. Then move to API, which connects to my n8n workflow. The method is paused, and the body includes all those variables and we prepared earlier. Once the request is sent, n8n takes over. It stores the record in Airtable and optionally alerts the human support team through Telegram. This connection is what transforms a normal chatbot into a full automation system. Next, let's look at what happens if the intent equals human support. In that case, the chatbot moves to the user information stage. Here I use two capture blocks, one to ask for the user's name and another for their email address. These fields have basic input validation to make sure the format is correct, and the data is stored in the entity, name and email. The reason of capturing the customer's information is because we can handle their request manually later. After collecting the info, the flow continues to API, which connects to my n8n workflow. Since we already covered that function, I won't repeat it here. For intents like order status or other, the logic follows a similar structure. The concept is the same, so I won't repeat those here. That's the full voice flow logic, from initializing variables to understanding user intent, fetching knowledge, capturing leads, and finally sending structured data to n8n. Everything works together to provide a seamless user experience while keeping your backend organized and automated. Now let's take a look at what happens in n8n once a data transferred from Voiceflow. First is webhook. It will receive data from Voiceflow. And here is Airtable, create or update a record. I use user ID to match the exact user to create or update. And the user ID, username, user email, message is the data need to create or update in Airtable. The next step is filter. When the username is not equal to 0, which means the user leave their personal information, we will send a text message through Telegram to company's human. Here's the Telegram chat ID. You can configure it at a company support team. And the text, just new customer user ID is what. Here is the setup for n8n. Let's summarize the architecture. Voiceflow handles the conversation. It grades the user, recognizes intent, and collects data. n8n is the bridge. It receives the structured data, stores it in Airtable, and triggers notification when needed. Together, they create a powerful automation pipeline that turns chat interface into real business actions. This exact structure can easily be extended. You can add CRM system, email marketing, or advanced analytics without changing the core logic. So that's how I built a complete AI customer support system using Voiceflow and n8n. Integrate with real backend automation. If you'd like a customer chatbot like this for your website or business, I'd be happy to help you design and automate it end-to-end. I offer free consultation, and every project starts with clear documentation and results you can actually test. Thanks for watching.